How are you doing? So basically, I am off tonight to outdoor cinema with some friends in a few hours, and I'm just getting ready. How are you doing? I haven't been live on here for forever and ever and ever. And the reason I'm going live today is because we won't have a podcast broadcast because we have had some serious tech issues and just coordination issues. So I told the team not to stress. I've got some hair on my lip. Let's get rid of it, otherwise it's going to annoy me. There we go. I told my team not to worry about it this week because I'll come on live and say hello. How are you doing? Are you well? All right, so some shocking truths that women need to know about men. At the end, I'll let you have some question and answers if you happen to catch me on this live. If not, feel free to put it in your comments because I'll probably be live again. Hello, Joy. I'll probably be live again next week, Sunday, hopefully, maybe, who knows. How are you all? Nice to see you, nice. Let's see what the chat is saying. Yay, 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 yay. Okay, good. Fantastic. Great to have you. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day this Sunday. So if you haven't taken advantage of our 60% birthday sale, you must do so because I'm going to be talking about some courses. They're going to help you with some of these things that I won't be able to cover today because I'll probably be on here maybe for about 30 minutes. We'll see. We'll see, girls. We'll see how long I'll be here. Now, if there are any guys watching this, hello, Imelda. How are you? It's good to have you all here with me. So good. So if there are any guys watching this, there will be some things applicable to guys too. But mainly, I'll be talking to the girls and giving you some basic advice. Okay. So I'm actually sifting through what I would like to actually share with you. So let's see. It's kind of going to be a bit of a two-part, you know. I'll probably go between a few things. So number one thing that we need to know, shocking truth about a man, is that a guy will tell you, men will tell you things that feel true to them and that they can convince you of. And in reality, it's not that they don't do that thing. So, for instance, a man will say to you, I don't pay for dates. I think we should both pay for dates. I think, you know, a man and a woman, and he'll come at you with like full on conviction. I don't pay for dates. I think women and men should pay 50-50. I think, you know, women should chase men too. It should be a two-way street. I don't think that, you know, I should just, you know, I believe in equality, whatever. They don't believe a thing. They don't believe a thing. They don't believe a word that they're saying. What they're doing is selling you the lie they want you to believe. And it works because so many of us are prepared to, let's get a bit more comfortable, shall we? That's what happens in lives. Nothing is ever perfect. They don't believe it. Whatever a man is not prepared to do in his masculinity, he's not prepared to do it for you. Or he's prepared to do it for you, but only if he feels like not doing it will cost him. Now, it's easy in the 21st century with feminism and, you know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We're all the same. For a man to really sell a lot of you girls on this idea that he truly believes in feminist views, he really doesn't. Because whilst he is selling you on why you should also text him and why you should also call him, oh, why does the man have to do everything, while he's selling you on that and you're lapping it up because you think he's cute and you kind of like him and you have a lot in common, trust me, that same guy, that very same guy who's giving you all of that will be the guy that pursues, the guy that pays, the guy that shows up in a relationship with some other woman. Yes. The guy who insists on 50-50 will 100% pay the price for one woman and not for another. And we can go through. What I want to do is, I've done this reel on Instagram. It will probably come up on the shorts at some point. What I'm going to do is get you to go watch it because I think it's already live on my Instagram. Okay. And I've given you the points. The guy that does 50-50 with you is going to go full on and do 100%. I always say to people that I don't generally hardly ever have to encounter a man trying to give me low effort and low investment. And I can always tell when a guy is being chivalrous, but he's not used to being chivalrous because he makes, you know, this whole pomp and display on, you know, opening doors. You can tell that this is not what he does in general. I was talking to a friend of mine and she was like, you know, I really hate it when men don't open the door for women, you know, and then you have to sit there and wait. I was like, every guy I date opens the door for me. And she was like, oh, really? How is that possible? I was like, I'm just the kind of woman that men open doors for in a story. Like, men will open, even if he's from the streets, even if he's for the streets, he will open the door for me. And then she said, okay, what if he doesn't? I said, well, I just stand in front of the door until he does. And she said, what if he, you know, comes and, you know, he doesn't get out of the car and he doesn't open the door and he drives off? I was like, by the time he drives back, I will already be in my house. I will already turn back because I don't even expect that behavior. I don't even expect it. Now, what's going on here? What's going on? What is it that I do, that some women do, that the same guy who will let you open your own door, who will let you pay for dates, who will let you chase him, that same guy, the same guy is going to behave like a perfect gentleman with somebody else? What is it? It's in a few things. So like I said in the beginning, we have a 60% sale on, and I'm going to be mentioning some courses. And the reason I'm live on today is because we don't have a podcast and I miss you. So write down these courses. And when this live is over, go to blackswanrelationshipacademy.com and get your 60% off because it's our birthday. It's our birthday and everybody gets a birthday present. Okay. Number 1, energy mastery masterclass. Energy mastery masterclass. It's got to be done. Okay. What is happening? What I think about myself and how I feel about myself will always, always, always force the world around me to adjust. Right? How I feel about myself. So I'll give you an example. I went to a Catholic church with my friend. And when we got there, I'm not a Catholic. I'm a Christian, but I'm not in anything really. I'm just a kingdom baby. And so I'll visit different churches if I'm invited. So I went to my friend's Catholic church, And when we got there, nobody said to me, Chengi, in this church, we don't shout, holler, say amen. In this church, we don't, you know, do things the way we want to. Nobody said that to me. When I got into the Catholic Church, there were 3 ushers who smiled. They gave me the program and led me to my chair. I sat there with my friend, and the beauty of the place, the gold, the ornateness, the order, the protocol, the discipline, the whole environment informed me, who does not usually kind of go to those sort of churches, informed me naturally. Nobody had to tell me how to behave. The environment that the Catholic Church creates lets you know that we don't express our faith in the way that you express your faith. No one had to verbally say anything. And while I was there, I noticed that I was looking around to see what I'm supposed to do. Should I get on my knees now, or, you know, stand up? When do I say? I'm going through the program, right? I'm trying to make sure that I honor the rituals of this place, because this place has become an environment that speaks. Energy mastery. Energy mastery is about understanding what the way you think about yourself and the way you feel about yourself, how the way you think about yourself and the way you feel about yourself creates an environment that people either tread on, that men play with, that people mess with, right? Or an environment that says, okay, I don't usually do this. I don't usually pay. I don't usually open doors. I don't usually commit to get laid or to have the attention of a woman. I don't usually have to do any of these things, but somehow this environment is compelling me. I have to adjust. And I want you to understand that a woman is an environment. You are an environment, right? Thank you, Joy. You are an environment, and your environment is curated. That's why we have the Black Swan Relationship Academy. That's why I have all of these courses, because I'm helping you and teaching you in detail and in depth how to curate an environment. You know, people don't know this about me, but when I was much younger, I was a doormat for everyone. People were so rude to me, so disrespectful, so untoward. I mean, I remember one time sitting down and crying to God and saying, God, why me? Why do people feel like they can just say anything to me? I remember this guy at church, you know, he was an elder in the church, a respected elder, and he comes up to me, and I think I must have been like in my early 20s, and he goes, Chengi, hello, hello, he says, waving his hand in my face. So I was like, hi. And he was like, oh, I was just trying to see if you were there underneath all that makeup. I was horrified that anybody could feel comfortable to do that, because I was this girl that you're seeing right here, right now. But I was, you know, very much one of the few Black women in the time that I came 20 years ago. You know, I'm 46, so I've been here a while. And England wasn't a makeup wearing place, but I was one of the few. So you were kind of deemed as cheap or a bit slutty, whatever. But you know, it wasn't a look that was approved in the church, and people would talk to me like crap. And I don't know, it's like I was an environment that invited abuse, that invited hello Odunaya Victor, and thank you, I invited abuse. And that's why I'm so passionate about the work that I do, because it's only when I decided that I didn't want to be her anymore. I didn't want to be the woman that anyone could talk any kind of way. I was the woman who allowed for abuse, allowed for disrespect. If you see the woman I am now, The woman I am now, the two of them can't even coexist in the same space. You are an environment. But you know how I created this new version? Nobody disrespects me. Nobody. I am respected everywhere I go. I am loved everywhere I go. I am honored everywhere I go. It's red carpet treatment for me on dates. Like, men lay out the red carpet, and I date different types of men. I get red carpet treatment. My friends honor me, my environment honors me, but that didn't start from trying to change people or please people or give more to people. And this is the mistake that we make. And these mistakes are what we call low value behavior. It doesn't mean that you are low value. You are high value to God. You are the extremist value that we can't even quantify your value, intrinsic value. But there's behavior that we do as people, as humans, as women who I'm talking to right now, that just brings the dust and the dirt and the parasites and the poop and the pee. People are like, oh, the dating world is full of pee. It's a lie. The dating world is full of amazing humans and pee humans. But what environment are you? What environment are you? What environment do you create? Because it's an intentional, deliberate, conscious, conscientious process. You have to change the way you think about yourself and feel about yourself. But it's a little bit more specific than that, because there's certain particular cliff notes that you need to change about yourself. There's certain things little cliff notes and pieces that you need to hit. Because when a man meets a woman who internally is wired as that Catholic environment, so let's talk about the Catholic church that I went to. It's very beautiful. It's very ornate, right? But the time you get to the entrance, everything about the ornate beauty of the place makes you want to fix up, right? You just looking at it. And that's no different. When we're creating environments, it's these components. How do you look? Now, when I say this, so many of us get our knickers in a twist, because so many of us do not believe we're beautiful. So many women do not believe they're beautiful. So many women measure their beauty on the media standards. So many women measure their beauty on their friends. Comparison. No. I have guy friends who are high value, high status, high worth men who will not date a woman who is any smaller than a size 20. If you're not big, round, and juicy, he will not even look at you. I know them. I know these men. They're proud of their big wives. They love a big woman. I know men who like tiny, tiny, tiny little girls. Women who are skinny, skinny, skinny. I know men who adore dark-skinned women, like dark. How I used to be, if God would bless me again. Right. I'm still dark, but not as dark as I used to be. I know men who adore fair-skinned women. I know men who adore every version of woman is like a flower in the garden. But I'm going to tell you, men have the same problem. When men hear, I want a provider, I want a man who can take care of me 100%, they just think we all want millionaires. They just think, well, every woman just wants a millionaire, right? It's the same ridiculous thought that we have when I say, how do you present? How do you look? We just assume that when I say that, or people in my profession say that, a lot of women hear, I need to be a supermodel to be treated well. No. Let's just correct that. Let's correct that right now. Men are not into one type of woman. Men like women in different, just like you're not into one type of flower. Some of you like lilies, some of you like roses, some of you like, men like variety. They love different types, different shades, different, men are really, they're not as picky as women are. Let's be honest. They're really not. That's another shocking truth for you. And I have a course called Secrets of a Man's Mind, where I go into this, and I do that, I think, with Coach Coach Unique, Secrets of a Man's Mind. We go into a lot of things that you don't know about men. It's definitely worth getting that course. Again, it's 60% off, so do it today because the sale ends today. So men, I was talking to a male client and he was like, oh, women want money and I don't know if I've got enough money. I was like, dude, the man is wealthy. But he believes that every woman wants to be in a Bentley and travel. You know, most women just want a guy who's kind and who will pay the mortgage and pay for groceries. You know, most women just want a man who will make sure that her head is secure, she has a bed, you know, who kind of provide. And most women are happy for what a man provides as long as he's willing to provide. And most women, yes, there are those women who want to achieve a lifestyle that is amazing and travel, blah, 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 blah. But most women, so I had to explain to him in the same way, when you say you want a beautiful woman, does that have a look to you? Like, does she have to be a size 0, be a certain height, have certain hair? He was like, no. So what am I talking about when I'm talking about beauty? I'm talking about what is the best possible version of you. Because when you go to that Catholic church, when you go around the corner, I saw an English church and it was designed very differently from the Catholic church. Both old English buildings, beautiful. They were not the same. What happens in each of them is not the same. Beautiful. Some of you probably go to these churches that are beautiful and modern and techie. Beautiful. But they all have something in common. Every high value woman, regardless of her size, height, color, skin, hair, real, fake, whatever. Every high value woman has a marker. Every woman that a man is going to honor, show up at his best for, has a marker. She takes pride in herself. She takes time to take care of herself. She is attentive. She doesn't show up in the world any kind of way. She does her hair. She does her nails. Even if she does them at home, doesn't matter. You don't have to have these. You don't have to go and, go to, a beauty salon. Even if you are the girl who does your nails at home. She is a woman that pays attention to her internal health and external health. There are a lot of very healthy, full-figured women. There are a lot of women who are so strong and so healthy who can outrun me, and they're huge, they're bigger than me. But when you take care of your internal health, and you take care of your external well-being, and you take care of your mind, that's how you that's the beginning of setting an environment. And do you know what it communicates? It communicates to men what it communicates to me when I go towards the Catholic Church. Because when I go towards the Catholic Church, I think to myself, oh, this is a place where investment is made. Somebody has made an investment. Somebody has invested in this place. Therefore, I can't disrespect it. And who has invested is the Catholics. The Catholics, not the Protestants. It's not the Africans. The Catholics have so invested in their place of worship that I don't have a right to come and just step all over it. You see, I was always the glam chick, but internally, I didn't invest in myself. Internally, I didn't honor myself. And I know we hear these words on the internet, and I am aware that we don't even know what these words mean. What does it even look like to honor yourself? So I'm going to break it down for you. And then I'm going to tell you what course to go on. But let's break it down first. It's to do with your boundaries. Boundaries are expensive, girls. Boundaries are expensive. Thank you. Oh, yeah. The other day, I had to set a boundary. And that boundary literally meant me walking away from one of the finest looking men I have ever encountered, right? He was hot and sexy and smart and, oh, lordy lord. But the investment I have put in myself, the amount of work and effort and blood and sweat and tears I've put it in myself necessitated that I had to decline his kind offer because it would mean betraying myself. And I do it all the time. I tell my clients to do it all the time. And whilst it hurts and it comes at a high cost, you build your self-esteem in ways that cannot be shattered. Setting boundaries is expensive because usually when you set a boundary, somebody's going to try and step over it. Somebody's going to test it. Now, how do we set boundaries in a high value way? Go and get the high value strategies course. I had a lady from Kenya say to me, Chengi, thank you for these discounts because they allow us to be able to afford it. Go get it. High value strategies. That's a 4-hour or 2-hour course where I break down how to set boundaries in a high value feminine way. We don't need to yell, scream, shout, or be unkind. You can set boundaries in the most elegant way, but always be prepared to defend your borders. When you are a woman who has boundaries, here's what happens energetically, okay? Energy mastery class. And no, ladies, it's not some demonic witchcraft course. It's actually got a lot of Bible scriptures in there for the Christian girls. And for the non-Christian girls, it's got a lot of science in it, okay? So we're going to be fine. But we're talking about, I'm so uncomfortable here. We're talking about setting boundaries in a high value way where we're still kind, thoughtful, but prepared to walk away, prepared to block, prepared to be without that. You know, this is for my church girls. Jesus said, if something causes you to sin, pluck it out, take the eye out, chop off the head, the hand. Okay. He's talking about set a boundary with yourself and with others and be prepared to lose something of great value in order to value yourself. Here's the thing. The Catholics don't want anybody and everybody in their church. They want people who will value their investment in themselves. They're prepared to ask you to leave if you bring your culture and your glory into the Catholic Church. They will absolutely ask you to leave. And they will be sad to see you go. But they will always honor themselves, their doctrines, their ways of life, the way they do worship. They will always honor it above this one experience of this one person because they know that there is a church that suits me. Now, I'm not saying they're going to throw me out on the streets, but I know somebody's going to tap me on the shoulder and say, would it be okay if you didn't say that? And so we can give the priest a chance to be heard. They would politely tell me, setting a boundary. And if I refuse to obey and go, hallelujah, glory to God, in their church, they're going to come again and say, madam, would it be okay if we just move to the back? They might even be kind and go and make me a cup of tea and sit with me in the back. I don't know what the protocol is because I don't think many people go and do that. And that's what I want to train you ladies to be kind of the place where boundaries don't need to be set because you have so taken care of the inner stuff and the outer stuff so people don't disrespect you. I don't get disrespected. And I haven't been disrespected in years, but I was a doormat. I was the most disrespected human being walking. Because when you have your boundaries, when you have your standard of I will never tolerate this type of relationship. I will never tolerate being spoken to like this. I remember this one guy that I was working with, and he was, I think he was like the security guard, and we got talking because people always get shocked at how friendly and easygoing I am because I'm really like a weirdo. I get on with everybody. I don't care who you are, the cleaner, the security guard, the president. I'm a people's person. I love humans. And so we got talking and he said, you know, when I saw you, I just knew that you're not the kind of girl that a man is going to mess with. People tell me that all the time. Furthermore, men will tell you, if you're going to date Chengi, you're not going to be taking her to any funny places. Already. Because I have boundaries that cannot, for my family, friends, I don't care who you are. I do not care who you are. And I don't care what you have to offer me. I don't care if you stand me on the mountain like the devil did to Jesus and say, if you bow before me, I will give you all. I don't care. I will never value money, success, power over being treated with honor, respect, and love. And what that does energetically is translate to the following. If you're going to talk to me, if you're going to be in my world, if you're going to be a part of me in any way, shape, or form, you adjust, you change. You figure out how you are going to approach me. Whatever your beliefs are, whether you're not into 50-50, you are going to be the 100% guy with me, because that's what's up. Quality over caliber. Absolutely. You are going to treat me like a lady. I don't care whether you believe in chivalry or not. I don't honestly care. But when I'm in the presence of a man, I expect him to be a gentleman. And failure to do that means that this is not going to work out for either of us. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I don't need anything in this life other than to love myself, to be loved by me and loved by God. Right? You have to be so recklessly in love with yourself, so amazingly in love with yourself, that you don't allow it. And guess what? The world beyond you will begin to take shape. If you've ever been disrespected, if a man has ever given you any "I'm not ready for commitment," he's not telling the truth. He's not. He's trying you out for size. And yeah, men will do that. They'll try you out for size. In the Dark Feminine Mastery, I teach you how to set those boundaries from the gate. In High Value Strategies, I teach you the strategies. In Feminine Mastery, I teach you what femininity is. We don't have to break a sweat, girls. We never have to wag our fingers in front of our man with the whole... Nope. We don't have to sell out or compromise our dignity in order to bring people into alignment. Trust me, I will set a boundary with a smile with you and you won't even know a boundary's been set. The moment you choose to disrespect me, I was at a dinner once and a friend bought a friend. And sometimes people get irritable at dating relationship experts because they're angry with us because, hey, they don't want to be angry with people they want to be angry with. And so I could tell that the friend came with a bit of an attitude, like, I'm going to test her and I'm going to da-da-da-da and I'm going to make, because I don't believe in any of this. And da-da-da. I could tell, I could read the energy. And I was pleasant and we were talking and she was, there's a presence I have where everybody behaves because I'm a lady. And eventually I asked her, so how are you? And, the usual. And she started kind of, giving back some almost rude kind of comments. And these, basically she was trying to let me know that she doesn't need me. And I was fine with it. And you know what I said? I said to her, oh, as long as it's working for you. I knew it wasn't working. I knew that she was in the worst possible dating and relationship situation. Just from the little bit I heard her say, I was like, that is so toxic. But she was so willing to defend her space. I just smiled and let that thing go. I don't need to get into an altercation. I don't need to let you know that I'm the expert. I don't need any of that. And I'm like that with men. I'm not ready for a relationship. Oh, I hope that works for you. And I wish you all the best. That's it. And I'm not even interested in renegotiating that contract because you told me the truth in the first place. You were honest. And the fact that you would think to disrespect me enough to test me in that way means that you're not even my husband. You're not my husband, because my husband won't even think to lose an opportunity with me. So you're just here for jokes, right? But we don't need to argue. We don't need to fight. I don't need to debate. I don't need to... And some of us, we're out here on these podcasts in the comment section fighting. It's bad energy, right? If you on these podcasts or a reel comes through and they're talking nonsense, these women, I call it these women men, these women, baby, swipe, let's go. That's the high value thing to do. Like, just don't give your energy to these things. Withhold and withdraw your energy, because a woman's energy is everything. Men love women because of their energy. A man loves to have a woman walking up and down his home, and just being, just our energy makes men feel good. And the problem is whether that energy is in rage or in, oh, don't listen. If you're a black swan, I beg of you, don't engage, because engagement in itself is giving away your power. So boundaries. I know we hear about boundaries everywhere all the time, but how do we set them in a high value way? That's where you learn that in high value strategies. Energy. How do we get our energy right? We learn that through the Energy Mastery Masterclass. Because you learn that through the Energy Mastery. How do you get your emotions in check so that they're not, when I was a doormat, my emotions led my life. If I felt it, it had to be true. It had to be accurate, and it had to be true. Validating your emotions is not the same as making them an accurate estimation of anything. You can validate how you feel. And I talk about that again for maybe an hour or two in the Emotional Mastery Masterclass. I delve deep into why we think the way we do, the subconscious mind, the protocols of the subconscious mind, blah, 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 blah. Everything is in the Emotional Mastery Masterclass. If you can't afford therapy, get the Emotional Mastery Masterclass, okay? Again, 60% off, girls. Don't say I don't give you anything, okay? It's our birthday. We're celebrating the Swan life here. We're celebrating the Black Swan life, okay? Because your emotions send out an energy frequency. Your emotions send out a magnetic pull. How you feel about yourself is the most powerful magnetic energy. So here's what you need to know about men. I keep saying this to you ladies all the time. Men have 21 genes dedicated to their sperm. I heard this from Dr. Pat Allen on one of her podcasts. I've tried to search for it, but I haven't found it, but it rings true. So don't ask me where I got it. Go and watch Dr. Pat Allen, find her and send her a message. But she was stating a study, definitely resonates as true. Though I can't say that I found the study. The point I'm making is this. Men, even if I had not heard of the study, I can tell you, men are highly intuitive. What are they intuiting? How a woman feels about herself. Men can tell if a woman doesn't feel worthy. They can tell if a woman's going to let them get away with nonsense. They can tell if this woman doesn't love herself enough, no matter how great your makeup, hair is. They can tell, and they will propose a low value situation. They will leave things vague and ambiguous. They will ask you on a date without asking you for a date. Because if they ask you for a date, then the expectations that go with being on a date. So they'll say, let's hang out, let's hook up, let's link up. I don't know what that means, right? The only thing I understand is I would like to take you out for dinner. I would like to take you out on a date. I would like to buy you, an experience. I would like to share an experience with you. That is the only communication that I have time for. And no man will come with foolishness to me. No man would even dare, because I don't feel that any less is worthy. Because I'm so in love with me, you can't even try to make me feel bad, right? So you have to master your emotions, master your mind, have the strategies, have the tools. That's why we have a whole curriculum for you. Because if you don't, a black man will tell you, I don't do white girls, I don't date white girls. A white man will tell you, I don't do black girls. Then he'll go and marry one. It's a lie. It's a lie. At the end of the day, a man will eventually marry a woman he doesn't want to lose. He will honor a woman he doesn't want to lose. He will honor, behave, and give his very best for the woman he doesn't want to lose. What kind of woman is that? It's a woman of high value, a woman of high status, a woman of high worth, a woman who has this elevated idea of herself. And that elevation doesn't come from just, nay, 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 nay. I think I am because they said I am. Mama Swan said I am. Exactly, Renee. You are high value because you work so hard on yourself. You do coaching, you do therapy, you go to the gym, you eat well, you read books, you read a lot, your mind is open, you are so invested in your well-being, your elevation. That journey is so separate from love and business. It's so separate, so sacred, and you don't compromise on any of those things. You are so committed and so sold out to it that it resonates in every area of your life. It's the same in business. It's the same in every area. You know, my son doesn't disrespect me, never has. As a mother, I'm not disrespected, and I never have to raise my voice and yell and scream. I will never come out of my place of dignity. Why? Because it costs me too much to be there. So when I go to the gym, it's not the gym that makes me feel high value. It's the person I am that honors myself enough to go. I look on myself and I say, girl, you did good this week. You went 5 times a week. I'm so proud of you. You are that girl. That's where my value comes from. It comes from everything that I invest in myself. That's what speaks to me because it reminds me, you're that girl, you're that girl, you're that girl. So I know that anyone that comes into my life, anyone, boy, girl, man, woman, any relationship, I promise you, you cannot be a friend of mine. You cannot be in this community. You cannot be a person I'm dating. You cannot be in any way associated with me and not come away from being with me and have so much value. Being around me is like being near an oasis. I am such a full river that always overflows. That's what makes me high value. That's what makes me high status and high worth, is that an encounter with me leaves you better. An encounter with me leaves you feeling good about yourself. Why? I do it for myself. I pour that into myself. I let God pour that into me, and I pour all of that into myself first, and then everybody can drink thereafter. So when I set a boundary, it is not on my ego, right? It's not an ego thing. A boundary is therefore set on this huge foundation of investment. Therapy, constant therapy, EMDR, working on my wounds, whatever comes up, healing relationships, letting go of relationships, growing through relationships. I do everything that I teach you to do, and I will do it till the day that I die. Right? I will, in this moment, pour out everything to you that I have to give in this moment, and hopefully leave you smarter, happier, more capable, worthy, right? That's my assignment in every room I go into. That should be the Black Swan assignment. The Black Swan shouldn't be the entitled girl who's just throwing out, I don't tolerate manhood 50-50. But who are you? What do you bring? What is your essence and your energy leave? What is the environment that you bring into any room? If you are sad, are you the environment that brings light? Are you the environment that brings joy? Are you the environment that just is such a blessing? You have to first be a blessing to yourself. You have to value yourself so that even that blessing is not abused. Because when you're a blessing, some people take too much, right? How many of us feel like, oh my God, people just take and don't give? You don't have strong boundaries. Because as much as you give to others, you give from an empty place. You have to give from a full place. And I want you to know that you can do it DIY. You can do it DIY. You can do it through the internet. You can do it through these videos. And you will make a heck of a lot of progress. But honey, one masterclass from the Black Swan Relationship Academy will catapult you years. Years. One masterclass that I will teach is 13, 20 years of experience learning, teaching. I condense these things into 2 hours, 3 hours, 4. I just give it to you straight, neat, no chaser, so that you just know exactly what you need to work on. You know the cliff notes. You know exactly I need to do this, this, and that. Oh, this is what was going wrong. This is what I need to fix, right? I do that because you don't need to go through what I've been through. Nobody needs to treat you badly for you to then learn to love yourself. You can start right here, right now, and set a boundary, because guess what? If you do not do it, men will show you one face and they will show other women another face. The very man that says he's not ready for commitment will be getting married in 6 months' time to some other woman. The very man that says, you know, I don't believe in 100% a woman must work and give as well. Whatever the stories they're telling you, it's a lie, because that very man, when he meets a black swan, when he meets a woman of high value, when he meets a woman of high status, when he meets a woman of high... Hi, I'm so sorry. My phone got really hot. So sorry. I'm back. My God, my phone got hot and switched itself off. But that's probably a cue for me to to get off. And I am going to come back next week, because there won't be a podcast next week, but they are being filmed. They have been filmed. They're just going through editing. There's just been so much upheaval on my side. So I told the team not to worry. I would come on live and have a chat with you ladies and see how you're doing. But if you want to ask me some questions, please feel free to do that. I'll stay on for maybe another 5 minutes if you got any questions. But I want you to know that when you are that black swan babe, when you are that black swan queen, and honestly, I swear to you, because I've been both. I've been the duckling. I've been the ugly duckling. I've been the weirdo. I've been the one that men play with. And I really honestly want to guarantee you, I'm sorry for that. I really want to guarantee you that you can 100% and absolutely, let me see if I can turn that off, because it's getting on my nerves. Whoa. I am trying to work here. Be quiet. Right. Sorry about that, girls. That's lives for you. My face in your face. But it's nice to have you in my space. So yeah, men will absolutely... I don't usually, I used to, but I've been so busy lately. Whew, I need to cool down. Girls, I'm in perimenopause now. I need to be like taking better care of myself. But yeah, do ask me any questions if you want to. But do know that men will climb, men need to be inspired. They need to be inspired. They're not built like us. We come to the room inspired. We're built for love and romance. We already come into the room with stories already told of our magical story. Men don't walk into the room like that. So we have to inspire them. Okay. You're so welcome, NW. Right, let's see. I got a question. Should you let go of your boyfriend who shuts down instead of discussing something that is bothering you? Okay, so there are a few things I would say. For those of you who are new to this and haven't heard, there is a 60% sale on masterclasses and affirmations, by the way, high value affirmations, whole package, go get them. And the reason I'm saying that is as follows. You need to get the How to Talk to Men So They Listen masterclass. Okay, Lisa? How to talk to men so they listen. Because if your man is shutting down, it's one of two reasons. Before we leave him, okay, he's shutting down usually because he doesn't feel safe. All right. Now, that Probably has something to do with his early childhood trauma. Probably. Most probably. Very likely. Um, but we can unknowingly, unwittingly speak to the masculine in such a way that he feels unsafe. When the masculine feels unsafe, what he does is let me put battery in this phone. Does is he shuts down. When we feel unsafe, we run our mouth, right? We're like, I'm not having it, blah, 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 blah. Most of the time, or we sulk or whatever, we all have ways of reacting when we don't feel safe. For the masculine, if he doesn't feel safe, he is absolutely going to shut down. And it might very well be how you spoke to him. So, in How to Talk to Men So They Listen masterclass, I teach you about the male brain, how the male brain operates, and how to. So, real quick, a man's mind, let's say, simplifying it, is like a waffle. He's usually in one part of his brain at a time. Women's brains are like spaghetti. Our brains are interconnected. We also have a big corpus callosum, and they have a smaller one. And the corpus callosum is the thing that manages emotion and thought. Women can think and feel simultaneously. Men can only think or feel, right? And we're talking about masculine, right-handed, left-lobed men, okay? Because they're men who are left-handed. They've got a big corpus callosum, or biologically gay men have a big corpus callosum. So they are exceptions to the rule. But we're talking about right-handed men who are left-brained, who tend to be more masculine energy. They live in compartments, right? So if you are going to knock on let's say he's in the work compartment or a different compartment altogether in his brain, either he's working or sleeping, they kind of live in these little boxes. And you barge in and say what you have to say, he's going to feel disrespected, and he's going to feel unsafe because you've jarred him. It's a bit like, think of it as, you're lying down in your safe home and somebody just opens the door and says, hey, get up, right? You're going to feel some kind of way, right? And the first thing you're going to feel is unsafe, right? So a lot of us as women, because our brains are like spaghetti, and the interconnected, the left brain and the right brain, the connectivity is different for women. We can have a very important conversation while we cook, and it tends to be that as women we can just bring a conversation out of the blue, and another woman can pick that up, or a right brain man can pick it up and go with it. But it's very easy to offend a man's mind by just not is wired biologically. So some of us, many women, 95% of women don't know how to talk to a man's brain, right? So there are protocols. You have to knock on the door gently. Okay, I talk about that in the How to Talk to Men So They Listen. It's actually one of our most popular masterclass. It's 60% off. You're going to get it dirt cheap in the sale. So take advantage, because it's only 24 hours. And there's some bundles that are worth investing in, because you'll get a chunk of them. But you have to knock on his door. That means you have to ask for permission to speak to him. Darling, I would like to talk to you about the car, the dog, the cat. Is this a good time? What we're doing is knocking on the compartment of his brain, right? To say, is it okay if you would come out of that room mentally into the room that I'm calling you to? Hi, Scarlett. Right? So, and then the next protocol is letting him tell you if that's okay. If not, you ask him for an appointment, right? So, and then there's a way that you then explain that this is how I feel. When you do this, this is how I feel. What can we do to, what do you think? So I tell you how to talk to a man so he listens. I tell you how to speak to the compartments of a man's brain. It's a game changer, ladies. Every single one of you, if you are, this is a channel for heterosexual people, so I'm assuming you're heterosexual. If you want to talk to the opposite brain and make a man feel respected in how you speak to him, How to Talk to Men So They Listen masterclass. Go and get it 60% off. Don't even waste time. Just go do it right now at the blackswanrelationshipacademy.com. Every woman has to have that in a handbook. So it may be how you're speaking to him. So I would try that first before I make any decision to leave. Okay, so the sale ends today. You can always get it. You don't have to take advantage of the sale, but I'm just letting you know. But before we leave, let's do the How to Talk to Men So They Listen. Let's do the Feminine Mastery Masterclass, because men will shut down if a woman is highly masculine. Nefertiti says she just purchased this masterclass with 60% off. Yay! Well done, girl. Proud of you. So yes, absolutely. So let me see if I got another question. I hope that helps, because I think I saw another question. There are a lot of things to try, Lisa, before we say goodbye. Okay, there are a lot of things we can try, and if you really are having a hard time, you can also book a coach. Again, on the website, I think you can get a discovery call for 60% off as well, which is great. So you can actually have a conversation and get some real game, because our discovery calls are really good. You're going to walk away with so much information, game changing stuff. So you can do that too. You're welcome. Scarlet Thread says, how do you inspire a man as they are in the process of converting to a new religion? You know, are they converting to your religion or to a different religion from you? I will do everything I can to save it, because I want you all to have it. Absolutely. I'm waiting for Scarlett to just be clear with the question. How do you inspire a man as they are in the process of converting to a new religion? Well, if he's converting to your, I'll, okay, I was getting to know a high, okay. I'll wait for Scarlett to tell me. They're converting to my religion. Okay, okay, all right. Well, you've already inspired him. If a man is converting to your religion, you've inspired him. So that means you already have, you just have to continue being what you've been. If a man, and this is very common, ladies, a lot of men don't really have a religion. And even if they are in a religion, they tend to be wishy-washy. But if a woman is high value, high status, high worth, and she's convinced and convicted that her religion is the right religion, and if she has a standard that I'll only date somebody from that religion, I promise you, most men will convert. So you clearly are already inspiring him. So keep doing what you're doing, because a lot of things that we do is when we get the result, we stop doing what we're doing. So keep inspiring him, keep being high value, high status, high worth. Definitely get the Crack the Commitment Code masterclass. That's a game changer for women in relationships. So if you are in a relationship right now and it's losing momentum, or it's you don't know what the next level is, you've brought in your best game and you want a different kind of game, this is a relationship masterclass. I did it for the women that are dating on the way to marriage, women that are kind of in courtship, in that kind of in between space. Crack the Commitment Code is for you. It's an amazing course. It took me ages to create it and to record it, because I always put my best stuff in everything. You all know this, because we're Black Swans. We do things to the absolute best. So get the Crack Commitment Code. That will be the one that I recommend for you, Scarlett. Crack the Commitment Code. Go get that on our website. Let's see what Nefertiti has to say. I was getting to know a high value man and he fell off the grid. We're going into the third day and I'm in shock. What happened? If he comes back, shall I continue? How long do I give him? So he fell off the grid. Okay, so if a man falls off the grid, let him fall off the grid. He'll come back. If you are high value, if you are high status, if you're high worth, if you follow the high value strategies, if you did the feminine mastery, if you've done high value strategies and dark feminine energy, he'll come back.
he'll totally come back. Sometimes there different reasons men pull away. I think there are a few videos on this channel about when men pull away or when the vanisher returns. But what I haven't covered yet, and maybe I might do it, is what I haven't covered is attachment styles. A lot of men have a disorganized attachment style. A lot of men and women actually have a disorganized attachment style, but men tend to be quite avoidant. So sometimes you could have been more than he was expecting, and that intimacy maybe was so fast. Maybe your connection was really fast, from what I gather. And that probably scared him off because he's not safe with connection. So that might be something that he needs to work on, and there are things that you can do with that. The other thing is that he may just be rotational dating, and you're just not a priority right now. But what matters is that when he does come back, you are ready and prepared. So if it's just a few days, I wouldn't call him out on it necessarily. I would set a standard with him, though. I would say, maybe if he asked you on a date again, I would accept the date. And on the date, I would say, casual, firmly, but casually enough so that it's not a big deal, as in, but it's heard. I really, really appreciate it when a man is consistent, and I don't feel safe when a man disappears. But don't say when you disappear. Just set a standard and say, I don't ordinarily entertain men that are inconsistent or fall off the grid. And just say it in general, and then let that marinate, let that sit with him. And if he does it again, block him and move on. How long should you give him? Look, okay, so this is a good question. We only give men as long as they treat us right. That's as long. So as long as he's treating you right, you give him that time. The moment the treatment shifts and changes, you're out. Never, men respect women who act according to the standards. So for me, if you're not trying to treat me right, if the treatment goes funny, the consistency goes funny, you're out. I stay in my power, I stay in my glory, I stay in my majesty. But you gotta leave the court, the queen's court. So we should all, as black swans, have the mindset that I will stay for as long as I am treated well, and only for as long as I am treated well. You will exit left, because I'm not leaving my power, my seat of glory. I say this, but I know how hard it is for us to do. That's why I created the Soulmate Attraction System course, because it is a course that will take you internally from where you are to where you need to be. And I believe that's on sale as well. I'm not sure. I believe it is the self-study. But I would encourage you, if what I'm saying feels like climbing a mountain, feels like, oh my God, I don't know if I can say that he's so fine. I like if it doesn't come like this to you, and it's hard for you to let a man go when he treats you badly, you need to do the Soulmate Attraction System course. It's the signature Black Swan course. It is the course that everyone must do before she dies, before she marries, before she gets to know any man. So definitely go get that on sale, because it's really usually quite expensive, but that's an investment you want to make. I don't call it expensive. It costs what it costs because it gives what it gives. But even if you get the course now and save up to kind of work with a coach, that would be transformative. But we all right. I think we're back. For some reason my phone is overheating. So let's see, maybe we can make it work in this position. The light isn't great, but we will get this done. I promise you, we will get it done. Let's see if the lights might be better. Okay, so we got the lights on. Perfect. Let's see. So yes, let's turn that off. I think we'll be fine now. Was it really right? I forget where I was. Yeah, so only give him a chance to the extent that he honors you and makes and treats you well. Hi, Progress Victoria. Hi, Chengi. Should I accept a marriage proposal to a guy who is emotional and gets easily nervous? You know, I said this on one of the podcasts. I'm not sure if you ladies are watching the podcast, but you should. You should go watch the podcast, because I think we talked about this with Coach Yvonne. You know, no one should tell you who to marry, but I will tell you this. A man who does not have emotional mastery is a very dangerous man to marry. It is essential, paramount. I cannot put enough weight or emphasis on what I'm about to say. But if a man does not have emotional mastery, he will be a terrible leader. He will even be abusive, because leadership requires sound judgment, capacity to handle, especially for a man. The woman's emotions are already a whole PhD for a man to handle, let alone if he cannot handle his own. Now, what we want is a man with emotional mastery, not a man who's closed off emotionally. Because if a man is not connected to his own emotions, he cannot be connected to your emotions. So we want our men to be healthy. We want them to have a good emotional relationship with themselves, to own their feelings instead of deny them, all those wonderful, healthy things we want in our men. But if he's crying all the time, overly sensitive, he seems to have a lot of trauma, and your relationship will become toxic at some point. So I wouldn't say don't accept a proposal. What I would say is perhaps propose that he does something about the issue, that he speaks to a therapist, let him know what your concerns are, and that perhaps he needs to go into therapy, that you appreciate that he's connected to his emotions, but you don't feel safe. So I would communicate, if you're at a place where you know a proposal is or is coming, then this is stuff that you want to address. You say, look, I would love to marry you, but I just need you to be a lot more regulated. So, you know, at least I know I'd like us to, you know, for you to go to therapy, and I'll go too, because you know what, we need help too. Like, it shouldn't be a one-way streak, because it might also be that you have an unhealthy relationship with your emotions. You know, sometimes we're like, oh, it's a bit too emotional, but it's only because he's triggering your walls, because maybe you like to be behind a wall. Maybe you are not, you don't feel safe with your own emotions. So we just want to make sure that we are ticking the boxes, that we are you know, kind of not being hypocritical here. So that's what I would suggest. I would suggest that you kind of suggest that first before we kind of say no. But I would not walk up the aisle with a man with no emotional mastery, or who is not able to handle himself, because that is going to be a terrible dad, it's going to be a terrible leader, it's going to be a really horrible marriage to be in, to be fair. So I would definitely do that before maybe just deciding no. Let's see what else we have. Okay. There's a statement here from Joy that it's happened to her. You will find this kind of on and off disappearing thing will happen a lot as well if you don't master attraction. When a man loses attraction for you, sometimes he drops off. I really need you girls to go and do the Mastering Attraction Masterclass. If you find that this is a pattern in your life, Joy and Nefertiti, Mastering Attraction Masterclass. If you find you're constantly being, men are taking you on dates, giving you a great time, then disappearing, it's because you haven't mastered attraction. Okay, the attraction works very differently from men and from women, and sometimes we can go on a date and be so excited and be like, oh, I'm so excited, but it's not happening with him. He's creating a situation for you and is blinding you to the situation that's actually unfolding. So I want you to go and get the Mastering Attraction Masterclass. Like I said, write a list, right? And you can get them whenever you're ready. But Mastering Attraction Masterclass will help stem that, because there's something in how you are doing attraction, Joy, and Nefertiti. So go sort that out. Mrs. Du Bois. My man loves me and he is incredibly generous. However, I won't feel confident to take the next step with him until he increases his income. How do I inspire him to be more ambitious and earn more? Okay, well, I would need to understand why he needs to earn more. Uh, but I'm gonna leave that. You can book a call. We can have that conversation if you want to. But I will give like a just a general statement, and I'm not saying this is about you. I would I would say that you need to be clear about what is enough for you. What are your core needs as a woman? Because the problem is sometimes as humans we make the symptom the problem when the root of the problem either is in us or in our definitions. Every high value woman must always value incredible generosity above money. Because when you marry a man who is incredibly generous, hardworking, and ambitious, I have added. So I don't know if he's just incredibly generous, but he's not hardworking and he's not ambitious. If he doesn't have those qualities, those character traits, then that's a problem. But if a man is incredibly generous and he is ambitious and hardworking and he wants to marry you, there are benefits a woman gives a man in marriage that inspire him. So let me see if I can explain this. As a girlfriend, there's some privileges we don't give to men. You understand? As a girlfriend, we invest to a certain point. We invest our time, effort, money, and body to a certain degree because this man is not invested at the full price. He hasn't paid full price, right? He hasn't totally invested. So the investment we give a boyfriend isn't often enough to kind of inspire him to become a millionaire, because for some of us we're not having sex with him, or so that's really helpful, and that's usually sometimes in marriage where you're having more regular sex, and that's really helping him and helping him keep his energy together and doing all of these things, and it's helping you too. So some of us who are not being sexual before marriage, we're not giving that. Some of us are not, sharing our resources, our mental resources, emotional resources with the man. We're not kind of there every day to kind of nurture his thing. So there's only a certain point a man will get with a girlfriend. The Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So there's only so much a man can become without a wife. Point blank, period. Even if he's a billionaire, if he doesn't have a wife, he will never fulfill his potential, because favor comes to husbands, and God gives favor to a man who finds a wife, and a woman manifests differently in a marriage. So if he's generous, ambitious, hardworking, and he has a clear plan and strategy, then the only way to inspire him is to marry him. But if he is happy and content with his lot in life, and he wants a woman that he can provide for at that level, and he's not providing at the level that you would like, then you need to let him go. You know what I'm saying? I want to show it to you maybe in reverse. Let's say you have your body type. It's the size that it is, it's the body that it is, the shape that it is. When he came, he found that you take good care of yourself, you go to the gym, but you are who you are. You got small breasts, whatever. I'm a small-breasted girl. It is what it is. Now, it's like a man saying, how do I inspire my woman to get big boobs and to get a big bottom and to have a flat tummy? Like, I like her body is really nice, but I would like her to have bigger boobs. That now is a request where he has to either pay for surgery or pay for a personal trainer. He now has to invest like a husband to ask for that. Like, he has to now be like, look, as my wife, I'm going to give you complete access to the best surgeons, to the best gyms, the best trainers, because I would like this from you. And he's paying and financing and supporting that. That's his prerogative as a husband, and that's your prerogative to say, no, thank you, I'm happy with the way I am. Or he can say, you know what, I adore you, I love you, but I really need a woman with more curves, with more body, with more whatever. Okay. And that's his right. So it's your right to say, you know what, I really need you to have more money and you're not that guy. But you don't have the right to kind of try to require a man who has no ambition to have ambition, because you're only going to kill yourself. You're going to just frustrate yourself and break his spirit. When there's a woman out there who would be so grateful for what he can provide. So never be afraid to kind of say, you know what, I have a good thing, but it's not right for me. You know, I have a great guy, but he's not right for me. But also, if you are blessed to have a good, generous man who with a good heart, um, I would, you know, I would get some advice, some counsel. I would book a coaching call just to make sure that your wiring is fine. Okay, so I'll never ask you to settle for what doesn't work for you, but I don't think the answer to your question is marrying him is an inspiration. Zara says she's taking note. Fantastic. Brilliant. Great, Nefertiti. I'm so glad I answered your questions. Nobule. I think I said that right. Hi, honey. You were typing your question? Okay, great. Go ahead and type your question. Zara says, do you have a course when people in general ask personal questions like, when are you getting married? Yes, the course is two-part. The course is Nice Girl Rehab and Nice Girl Rehab Reloaded. So I think there's a package we've done for Nice Girl Rehab. So go and do Nice Girl Rehab and then join Swan City. And there's a challenge in Swan City on Facebook that you can do for free that will help you. But the courses are Nice Girl Rehab and Nice Girl Rehab Reloaded. You want to do those two courses for that, Zara. Also, for your other questions, are you single? Do you have kids? Why aren't you married? What do you look for in a man, etc.? There's the course for that is the dating playbook. And we also have exactly what to say, the scripts. Okay. So we've created and we used to have a group where all the women, we will probably have it soon again, where all the women would ask their questions. So in that group, Nice Girls Rehab One, Nice Girls in that group, there were so many questions similar to this. So what we did was created scripts for you. So the scripts are called Exactly What to Say. Again, they're on sale. So if you want like scripts of what to say to people when they ask certain things, that it's in the Exactly What to Say. If you want to learn how to date properly so that these questions don't come up, is in the dating playbook. Every Black Swan needs to have the dating playbook, by the way, if you're dating, because I cover everything to do with dating in the dating playbook. Well, dating like a Black Swan. And yeah, so those are the courses for you. Nice Girl Rehab, dating playbook, Exactly What to Say, scripts. I'm stuck on something you said earlier. My boyfriend does the thing where he will plan conversations or put off a conversation for later. It bothers me sometimes. Is that a sign of immaturity in me? Yes. This is good leadership on his part, but just to defend you, my darling sweetie, a lot of men don't understand how a woman's brain is wired either. Okay. We need things resolved very quickly. And if there are any guys watching this, please listen carefully. A lot of men will treat women the way men like to be treated. Okay, that's what we do in the intersection between male and female. Women are treating men like women, men are treating women like men. Okay, we're very different. Men, listen carefully. Should you ever meander here? The sooner you deal with your woman's problem, the better for you, because there's a mechanism in our brain that will turn a molehill into a mountain, and that mechanism works on a 24-hour cycle. So it starts off as a molehill. If it is not addressed in 24 hours, our woman brain is going to cook it up and escalate because it's a safety protocol. Okay, so a lot of men don't understand that when a woman brings a problem to him, usually it's already festered, it's already a big deal. And he's going to think, okay, I can't handle all this emotion coming at me. Let's postpone it until you feel better. But what men don't understand is we're not going to feel better. We're going to feel worse. We're just going to feel horrible. And by the time we have it, so it's partly immaturity, partly because there's a part of you that has to have that emotional mastery I spoke about earlier. So the emotional mastery masterclass, how to talk to men so they listen, because you might need to communicate that. You can say to him, you have every right to have this conversation later. I'm just concerned that if we don't have it now, my mind is going to blow it out of proportion. And by the time we have it, I won't be in a position to really hear you out. So would it be okay if we have this conversation no more than 24 hours from now? Okay, so that's how you can communicate. So again, in the How to Talk to Men So They Listen masterclass, I do teach you how to speak when there's conflict, the words to use, etc. So go get that. But so in your defense, you're just being a woman. But emotional maturity in a woman, your ability to be able to communicate that, your ability to kind of work with his timings, know that, okay, he's interested, he cares about my feelings, and he's actually set an actual appointment. And make sure that he sets an actual appointment. It's not just we'll talk about it later, but let him know that you always need to know when, because it helps you calm your nervous system and soothe you so that you are ready to have a conversation that is going to be, supportive and healthy. Okay, so, and maybe have that conversation, maybe have that conversation before conflict comes. So say to him, darling, you have every right to put away conversations that you might not be ready for, and I want you to know that I respect that. It's just that the way that my mind works is it just blows things out of proportion. So if we can deal with issues 24 hours from me bringing them up, that would really help me regulate myself so that I can be respectful in that conversation. What do you think about that? So again, I teach all that in the How to Talk to Men masterclass. But yeah, I hope that was helpful, Scarlett. You're welcome. Progress. I live in Trinidad. How do I purchase from here? You can use any credit card, PayPal. Yeah, any credit card you have or PayPal. If you are having a hard time, just email admin@blackswanrelationshipacademy.com, admin@blackswanrelationshipacademy.com, and we'll find another way for you to make payment. But from the website, you should be able to use any credit card you have. Trinidad, Latoya, yay. Zara says, I just met this person with 5 minutes. I don't feel comfortable and safe expressing my opinion when I just met you. Yes. Yeah. I think, you can always say, to somebody who's being nosy, you can say, I don't feel comfortable answering that question. Or, there's so many things that you can say, but sometimes just being authentic and saying, you know what, I've just met you. Maybe when we get to know each other a bit better, I'll answer that question. You can just sort of be authentic in how you feel. We don't owe strangers an explanation. We don't owe a person we've just met, but you can still be sweet about it. And that's in the exactly what to say scripts. Okay, so they're in the shop. So the exactly what to say scripts will give you some ways of getting those done. So that's going to be helpful. But no, you shouldn't feel like you owe anybody an explanation when you meet them. Latoya, my guy is a lot older than me. We have a daughter. Don't know why. Don't have a daughter. Don't know why. Don't want to take it to the next level, which is marriage. But he did mention because of his finances. He's not going to take it to marriage because he doesn't have to. Okay, so I'm going to explain this real quick because I've got a few more questions, and then I'm going to have to leave, girls, because I got to go. Okay, but I've enjoyed spending time with you. I'll be back again next Sunday, and I might even pop in during the week. Who knows? But next Sunday we'll be doing a live, so be here. I will try and post it in the community so you know what time I'll be coming on live. I'm kind of in between. I'm traveling a lot, so I'm going to I can't be as stable as I would like to. And then we will go back to our, after that, after next week, we'll go back to our podcast broadcasts, and I'll pop on here as and when I can. He doesn't have to marry you, because men, the price for a man is the woman. The price for the woman is the marriage. Okay. So for him, he has the woman of his dreams. He has the child of his dreams. Now you're asking him to spend money. This is a loaded conversation, and I don't want to say anything on here that would create chaos where it doesn't need to be. But I will say, you haven't required it of him. Like I said in the beginning of this video, what a man won't do for one woman, he'll do for the other. So I'm getting low value strategies course for you, dark feminine energy course for you, how to talk to men so they listen course for you, and how to, and maybe book a discovery call. But honestly, it's because you haven't required him to. I have women all the time, my boyfriend will marry me, my boyfriend will marry me. Trust me, he'll marry you if you know what you're doing. Okay, if we elevate your value and set a standard and set a boundary, he will marry you. But you might also need to address what marriage is for you. Is it a big wedding, or are you happy to have something more modest? I think, sometimes men who have already got the woman and the child won't marry because we have these big, huge dreams of the biggest wedding in our lives. And he knows that, and he can't finance that and take care of you and take care of the baby and or the child. It's just a lot, so they'll just put it off until they feel they're rich enough to do it. But if it's marriage you want, and you're prepared to go to the registry and have 5 people be witnesses and have a beautiful day just for the 2 of you, if marriage is what you want, then you can have marriage. But if it's a big old fat wedding and your friends and a big old party, you're gonna probably wait a while, if your guy's not financially like that. So I hope that helps, my darling. Ooh. So Joy is asking, Chengi, how can one stay in a relationship with a man with a very low libido, though he says he's going to work on it? Is quite disturbing. The answer is don't. If there's an incompatibility with your libidos, please don't do it. Don't do it. Find a man who, because women are more sexual than men. I know society tells us different. We think it's different. It's just that we fire differently from men, right? But trust me, good sex, regular sex is more important for a woman than it will ever be for a man. Way more. Way more. So it's not something, and when the sex is not good or not frequent enough or right for you, you will find it hard to yield to that man. A lot of men think that women are rude to them because they don't have money, or women are kind of not submitted. A man has to be able to satisfy his feminine, and she has to be satisfiable, because that's another story. Okay, because some of us have trauma, right? And even if a man did everything, we need to work on some of our stories. But let's say in a healthy relationship where you've worked on your stories and the man has a low libido or doesn't perform well or is just not right for you sexually, and there's no compatibility, and you are not married to him. If you're married to him, you have to book a call, because we can't have this conversation out here. Then I would absolutely walk away. It's just not a negotiable, to be honest with you. Boyfriend will not get a job. That's Latina Jones. Boyfriend will not get a job and uses back issues as a reason. I make more. He is lacking ambition. I get up for work every day. He lies in bed until... Okay, I've already read enough. Latina, why do you think you deserve less? This is to do with your value, your self-worth. He can only give you these reasons because he knows you will be the masculine. So we need to deal with the trauma. I promise you there's a story here. I want you to book a call with one of the coaches. Book a call with me. I think there's a discount on the discovery calls. Book it. Let's talk about it. Because I would need to be here for another hour to discuss this with you. But it's breaking my heart. It's absolutely breaking my heart to read that. I'm so sad to hear that one of my swans is enduring this level of abuse. Okay? And why you are accepting it. No, 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 no. Nope, nope. You deserve and you're worthy of a provider. And if this man can't do it, you come to Mama Swan, you come to the Swan team, and we're gonna make it better. We're gonna make it better. Okay? I'm sorry, but either he's gonna change or we'll get you a man who can take care of my baby girl. Okay? But what we're not doing is doing this. I love you. Okay? Latina, goes to the website. There's a sale. It ends today. Go sort. I want to speak to you, or you speak to one of the coaches, but we're not doing this. You're welcome, Mr. Barr. Roll Renee. When am I getting married? That's an intersection question. What do you ask as I smile in silence? Why do you ask? That's a very, very good question. Why do you ask? That's a good one. See, I love it when swans start to share game. Okay. Latina, Mama Swan says to get in touch. Do you understand? Yes, you better, because we're not having that. You are so welcome. And all of you get on the soulmate attraction system course. If we're having repetitive issues with men and we've got patterns, please get on the soulmate attraction system course. Good. Okay, I think we're at the end of the questions. You are so welcome. I'm glad that you ladies are talking and having fun in the comments and sharing life and love. Please continue to do that. And Swan City. Okay, so Swan City is the free Facebook group for swans to get together. Please go into Swan City. Let's make friends, because swans are very rare and exquisite creatures, and we don't get to meet many of ourselves, you know, out here in the world. So I would love for you to go make friends, come into Swan City, have conversations like this, ask your questions. The coaches will be there to answer your questions. We're here for you. Swan City is a place where we're going to hang out. Okay, so, and I will probably be in Swan City in July doing a lot of lives in there. Okay, so I'll pop on maybe when I'm at the gym or when I'm doing whatever, just to share lives, answer questions. So if you want to be in a position where you can make friends and get access to me or my coaches, please go to Swan City on Facebook. If you have a hard time getting the link, just email admin@blackswanrelationshipacademy.com and a link will be sent to you. We have our professional training. So if you feel you want to be a coach, we're here for you. You can do the professional. You can start to register now for the professional coaching if you want to join the Black Swan team. And what else do you need to know? And of course, like I said, the sale is on, and some of you have already started purchasing. You've already started doing. I can see my phone flashing. So I'm so happy that you're investing in yourself. I love you to bits and pieces, and bigger bits and pieces, and I love you to bits. And I hope that your love grows wings and you fly and you make me proud and you wear your Black Swan wings with pride. I will see you soon. Take care of you. Bye-bye, my darlings.